Hi, my name's Tom Burke. I'm with Ioline Corporation, and this is another in a series of video tutorials that seek to show you a little bit about how to use Ioline design and the tools in it to create better Rhinestone designs for use with our Ioline CrystalPress Rhinestone setting system. Today's tutorial is going to address the idea of using bitmapped images, typically photographs like the one you're seeing here, as guides for the creation of a vector image that can be used in the Rhinestone software that comes with the CrystalPress. Now we'll begin here by adding some guidelines to our design. I'm going to try to show you some tools that really allow you to make a symmetrical design, and guidelines are one good way to do that. Now, with nothing selected on the screen, we're going to hit the right mouse key. That'll open our Edit Guides function. We'll click on the horizontal guide box here, and we'll click Add, and that'll place one line. Then we'll click on the vertical guide, and we'll click Add, and that'll place a vertical line. With those two lines, we can bring those over and align them to our bitmapped image. So you can see we want to be sure that these points are square to the guidelines. Now we're ready to begin creating our vectors. We'll go over to the Graphics Edit tool, and we'll select the Node Edit function. That brings up this little pencil, and using the pencil I'm going to create a node right here. I'm going to come up to the center of the design. I'm going to add another node, and then I'm going to come down to this corner and add a node. Now I'm going to select that vector, double click on it, and by placing this crosshair and then clicking upon it, I'm going to select that node. Then I'll hit the right mouse key, and I'll come up here to this circle, and as you see, what it does is convert that angle into a smooth curve. Now that line, which we'll select, needs to be moved up a little bit using the arrow keys so that it is in the center of that first row of stones. Likewise, we're going to move it over to the left so it's squared on our guideline. Now, there's another row of stones here, and the best way to achieve a symmetrical curve similar to the one we just created is to simply hit Edit, Copy, and then we'll press Control V. That will allow us to drop another vector onto the screen, and we'll bring that vector into position above the previous curve. Now we're ready to begin creating the rest of our design here. We'll click on our edit tools, our graphics editing tools, and select Node Edit again, and we'll place nodes around the left hand side of our design. Now we've created a series of nodes which we'll select, and to give us a little better idea of what we're doing, because the bitmap image can get in the way sometimes, we're going to click on View, and we're going to click on Show Bitmap Outlines. Very simply, that simply turns off the photographic image we were looking at previously. Now, having created this design, I'm going to edit it a little bit. I'm going to drag this node down to here and drag this node down to here. Then I'm going to select these two nodes by drawing a box around them with the pencil, and I'm going to turn those into curves. Likewise, I'm going to select these two nodes and turn those into curves. And then I can actually adjust all these other nodes one at a time or in groups until I'm fairly happy with the shape. I'm also going to turn this one into a curve node as well. Now, when I've settled this particular image, or this vector, in the shape that I like, I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to come over to this side of the design, and I'm simply going to hit Control V, and I'm going to place a copy of that design on this side. Go to Layout, Size and Move, and Mirror Horizontal. Now we've reversed that design, and we can bring it over and place it to the right of our previous design. Now, to be sure that we've got everything aligned properly, we can even bring our guideline up here, and we can move by using the arrow keys. We can simply bump our two sets of vectors, our two vectors, until we're sure that they're in alignment with one another. Now we have three vectors that will nicely form a rhinestone tiara. However, we're going to make one more change. These are all the same color, so they would come in as the same size rhinestone in the Ioline Crystal Studio software. So what we're going to do is change the color using our palette down here of individual vectors. Now when we bring them in to the Crystal Studio program, we can select different size stones for the different vectors. Having done so, we'll simply draw a box around the whole design, and we will export it to Ioline. And we'll call it Tiara. And we'll bring in our design. Tiara. And there's our design. Now, we simply go to Layers. Notice we have three layers for the three different colors. On the red layer at the bottom, let's use a 12SS stone. So we'll select that and make it visible. On the next layer, let's use a 16SS stone. Select that and make it visible. And on the next layer, we'll use a 10SS. Now note also that we could come in here to our Shapes function, click on Fixed Ratio, and we could raise or lower the size of that design simply by lowering the percentage of the design to create a design in any particular size that you need. I hope this tells you a little bit about how to use the bitmap editing and the vector editing tools in Ioline Design. Thanks very much.